Well, if you couldn't tell from the title already, a bit of an unfortunate update for you all today. That is that our Starking Delicious peach tree has finally died on us. Been working on it the past few summers, and even at the end of last year I could kind of tell it didn't look great. I guess I just didn't quite notice well enough that I should have been harvesting scion wood instead of just trying to prune it in order to kind of propagate it and keep it here at the property. I want to take you guys in, kind of give you a couple ideas why this might have happened, and then we're going to take it down. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking of the major cuts that I made on the tree, but remember these cuts were made when most of this wasn't even living tissue. Most of everything beyond these points in the limbs was actually already dead. So when I made these cuts, I wasn't even cutting into green cambium. It was actually just already brown, already dead, and the nearest position for some life was usually a small limb like this or some of these other limbs. Above this point, very little was alive, and at best there was some scion wood that could have been collected, but the branch itself was not healthy. And I really don't think that this not healing in was the source of our problem. We've got other wounds on the tree like that had not yet even become a structural issue. Down here we did have some cracking that was starting to become a problem, but I think the biggest problem was our trunk. So when I cut the base here, we're going to take a look, see just how much of this was actually dead, because a lot of this looks torn up, and we may just not have had very much actual connection to the roots here, and probably not even very healthy roots, because we haven't had a single sucker come up. I was hoping maybe some suckers would come up from those roots, but that has not happened. So you can see the bowl shape was looking pretty good when we were regrowing this. It was going to be a pretty nice looking tree. I just think we were a few years too late, and the amount of damage down here is just not going to be overcome no matter what we did up top. So it's supporting less and less tree up top every year, I think, because of the trunk damage down there. So we're going to go ahead and cut this up and see what this looks like underneath. So looking a bit closer, you can already see the kind of decay and rot that was happening in the inside here. This is part of the reason I also just think that these are disposable trees. Peaches, nectarines, those sorts. They just don't hold up, like, especially like apples and pears. But let's keep cutting into this, see what else we find. So I cut where these were splitting apart. You can see just how bad that looks. But down around here, there was a decent amount of contact here as far as looking like it had living tissue on the edges of the trunk there. And coming over here to look at the lower level, this really looks like some of it could have been alive as well. It is really hard to tell though, but some of this looks a bit darker on the edges, kind of looking dead, where this looks more alive over here. Just really is hard to tell how much of this was actually alive, how much is already dead this late into the game, when at this point it's all brown anyway. But definitely this rot had gotten into the center. Structurally, this wasn't going to be a very sound tree for long. Really had never been. So, let me get the final cut on this. Alright, there you go. Got it cut off. Doesn't look as rotted or bad as I thought it might here at the very base. There was definitely damage on the trunk, but it's definitely some new inhabitants here, some sort of bugs and things that are down here. I don't know if they're contributing to the problem, but usually a lot of those bugs are just a sign that there's already a problem, already things that are dead. So could be they're just moving in since the thing died. Well, I don't want to leave you on too sad of a note, so if you've got a peach tree that looks relatively nice, but maybe has some signs it's on the decline, or maybe you just want more of that variety, more trees, you want to see more about bud grafting, be sure and check out this video here. That'll show you how to do that. If you want to see some of the follow-ups on that bud grafting and how those trees grew, be sure and check out the rest of that playlist here. And I wish you all well with your peach trees. Thanks for watching.